All right, listen up, fam. This high school is basically a training camp for future criminals. We're talking sleeping in class, brawling in the hallways, even the teachers are too scared to step in. Isn't this place a total nightmare for studying? But get a load of our boy. He looks like a total nerd with those glasses, but he's actually a top-tier fighter who settles arguments with his fists. And his ultimate goal for being here? To get into college. And just when you thought Yusung was the only problem school, we're introduced to Monarch High. And check out this new guy on crutches, hyped out his mind to be here. Little does he know, inside it's the usual chaos. Someone's crying their eyes out, and some roid rage dude is about to rip the railings off. Buddy, that excitement won't last long here. And the mood inside is just as messed up. Look at this meeting. The awkward silence is so thick you could cut it with a knife. One guy tries to lighten things up, suggesting a game, and immediately gets shut down. You think this is a party? Yeah, definitely not a party vibe. Meanwhile, the actual study group is wondering where our boy Gammon is. They're cracking jokes about him being in a parallel universe or ending up at Manacle High by mistake. Until BAM, the teacher shows up and shuts the whole conversation down. Instant silence. Everyone's terrified. Yikes. Speaking of tense situations, look at Hankyong. She's clearly not having a good day. After a quick shout out to Jaehee, she immediately gets into it with this orange-haired girl. The vibes are just terrible. And the orange-haired girl goes straight for the jugular, insulting her looks. You can feel everyone holding their breath. But Hankyong isn't just going to take that. Swish. She makes her move, and everyone is shook. The argument gets real deep, real fast. We're talking about ruining your lives now. The orange-haired girl is completely lost, like, what the heck are you talking about? This is clearly more than just a simple schoolyard spat. In another corner of this chaotic school, a new plotline unfolds. This poor kid, clearly being bullied, approaches someone who looks the most friendly to get the scoop on who his tormentors are. The guy he asks is just as shocked to hear about it. And the school's reputation precedes it. We get some exposition about Yusung High being a well-known gangster pipeline. But look at our boy Gammon, just listening to all this with a little smile on his face. He knows what's up. And here's why nobody does anything. The students are getting extorted, but they can't call the cops. Why? Because the bullies have powerful parents who can make any problem disappear. The system is totally rigged. And if you need proof, here it is. A flashback shows what happened last time someone tried to be a hero. They called the cops, and their dad got taken out in a hit and run. Absolutely brutal. This is the level of evil we're dealing with. So the victims are left with a terrible choice. Handle it themselves or suffer the consequences. Look at this kid, all bruised up, being told he's on his own. The frustration is real. How are you supposed to study in this environment? The feeling of helplessness is everywhere. But just when they thought things couldn't get worse, they realize their school is right next to Monarch High. The look on their faces says it all. Out of the frying pan, into the fire. Let's check back in with our excited new kid on crutches. He's finally inside Monarch High, but it's dead quiet. The place is a mess. Graffiti, broken windows, and are those bloodstains? This is getting creepy fast. And this kid's thought process is hilarious. He sees the blood and thinks, wow, they must be studying until their noses bleed. College prep is war. This dude is on another planet. My guy, you are in serious danger. And who do we find wandering these haunted halls? It's our boy Gammon. He's here for a club exchange event and is politely asking for directions. The locals, however, are looking at him like he just grew a second head. They're not buying his friendly act for a second. Gammon introduces himself, and the whispers start immediately. Yusung High, that's the gangster school from Incheon. They're trying to figure out his angle. Meanwhile, the big boss of this school is literally sitting on the toilet, completely clueless about what's going down. And just in case Gammon forgot what kind of place he's in, we get a brutal reminder. This poor kid gets called over and immediately gets his face stomped into a desk. This is the welcome committee at Monarch High. Naturally, they assume our boy Gammon is here for a turf war. Are you here to expand your territory? They ask him. Look at Gammon's face. He's just like, huh? I'm here to study. They're blocking his path, trying to intimidate him. They have no idea who they're messing with. And they're not asking questions anymore. This dude literally grabs a fire extinguisher and tries to bash Gammon's head in. Invitation my ass, he yells. Okay, so the club exchange was definitely a lie. But wait, just as the extinguisher is about to connect, someone else jumps in with a flying kick, sending the attacker flying. An unexpected ally? Or is something more complicated going on here? The plot thickens. Wait a minute, it's the naive kid on crutches. He's the one who jumped in, and now he's holding a pair of broken glasses, saying a real student would never treat their glasses this poorly. He's a fighter with a code of honor. I like this guy. It turns out, this isn't a study group at all. It's a bunch of gamers who are losing their minds over a pay-to-win stage in a game. One guy is raging, "Why can't I pass this stage?" And another's getting beat up for it. This is peak high school drama. The desperation is real. One moment, they're crying about having to go to school. The next, they're screaming about the game wanting them to pay. These guys are on an emotional roller coaster. Seeing the guy on crutches is actually a threat. Demonic high thugs start to panic. One of them gets a bad feeling and wants to bail, but his friend stops him. "No, you want to get beat up because we got scared of this one-legged limper." Oh, famous last words. And there it is. The loudmouth who wasn't scared gets instantly taken out with a pipe. Blood goes flying. That's what you get for running your mouth. His buddy is freaking out. "I said I had a bad feeling, SH asterisk Theod." "Yeah, a little too late for I told you so. Now you're all in trouble." Our boy on crutches is a beast. He uses his crutch as a pivot and sweep. Takes down another guy with a clean kick. That thing isn't just for walking, it's a weapon. The next poor soul gets a chair straight to the dome. Ouch. You can practically hear the ringing in his ears from here. That's gonna leave a mark. Gammon's just watching this unfold like he's okay. But just as he says that, someone bursts through the door armed and ready, yelling, "How hard are you beating him up?" The timing is just perfect. This is chaos. So this is what it's all about. Pressuring a kid to activate a credit card for their game. One guy is begging, the other is grabbing his face, telling him to go study. What a scene. And our boy Gammon is just standing there, probably thinking, "I came here for a club exchange, not this soap opera." Pushed to his limit, the poor kid starts sobbing for his mom. And then he just YETS himself out the window. Crash. Nobody saw that coming. What is happening? Turns out, the jumper is fine. And he even took out some goons on his way down. He finally gives in, activates the card, but warns the other guy not to overuse it. A chaotic way to solve a problem, but I guess it worked. With the drama over, our boy Gammon finally finds the owner of the broken glasses he picked up earlier. "Are you the owner of these glasses?" he asked the kid who was being bullied. The kid takes them back, still completely bewildered by everything that just happened. And what do you know, it's a small world. The kid recognizes Gammon from middle school, remembering him as the guy who was always number one in class. The reunion is real, and it's happening in the most chaotic high school in Seoul. The old classmate, Ju-min, explains that he came to a high school in Seoul too, Manil High. Not Monik Manil, the school next door. The pieces are starting to come together. Right on cue, Gammon gets a call from his study group, and they are absolutely roasting him. They knew he'd mess up the school name. Gammon is so predictable, they laugh. Our boy tries to explain. He put his phone on silent mode, but the damage is done. The embarrassment is real. Suddenly, Ju-min's face drops. He grabs Gammon, panicked, telling him they have to leave. That monster will come soon. Looks like the real boss of Monik High is about to make his entrance. On the other end of the phone, the Monik High boss himself, Seokdi. He's heard that Gammon destroyed his boys, and he's laughing about it. "Are you here to take over Monik High?" Ha ha ha. This guy sounds like trouble. Gammon hangs up, but it's too late. The boss is already there, and he's not interested in talking. Whoosh. He throws a punch without a word. Everyone is in shock. The boss is here, and he means business. Is he really coming? Oh no, he's already here. The real fight is about to begin. But our boy Gammon catches the punch. He grabs the boss's hand and says, with ice in his veins, "I will take over this school as you wish." Oh my god, the confidence. He's showing off, and he knows it. The boss is not impressed. "Look how cocky you are just because you caught my punch once," he sneers. The two of them are locked in a power struggle, and the tension is off the charts. Juman explains the situation to Gammon. The student from Monik High have been bullying the kids from his school, Manil High, for a long time. It's devastating. So Gammon isn't just fighting for himself, he's fighting for them. The boss has had enough talk. He unleashes a massive kick that sends Gammon flying across the room. The sheer power is insane. The Monik thugs think it's over. "This is a war," one of them yells. But their celebration is cut short. Crash. Gammon gets back up, completely unfazed, and starts taking out the trash. Back with Gammon's friends, they're getting word of what's happening. They're worried, knowing Ju-min you got beaten up, and they're tired of all the fighting. Little do they know, our boy is handling it. But some of them aren't worried at all. They know Gammon's history. They're confident that this Seokdi guy doesn't stand a chance against him. That's the kind of faith you have in your ace. Back at the fight, Gammon is in full-on beast mode. He's tearing through the Monik High students like they're nothing. These bastards are screwed. It's a one-man army. And we get a little backstory to prove it. A year ago, in a legendary high school battleground, our boy Gammon defeated more than 30 people by himself and led his side to victory. This guy's a legend. Seeing his crew get dismantled, the boss, Seokdi, finally gets serious. He grabs a weapon and comes at Gammon with everything he's got. But our boy is too quick, dodging every swing with ease. Gammon's defense is perfect, and his counterattacks are brutal. Wham! He lands a powerful kick that sends a muscular boss stumbling backward. The tide is turning. Gammon grabs a baseball bat, his expression hardening. He's ready to end this. The final showdown is here. It turns out EtgJiaIWkGI's signature move, the one that put him on the throne, is getting his opponent on the floor. His friends are cheering him on, thinking he's got this. But they've forgotten who he's up against. EtgJiaIWkGI unleashes his ultimate technique, the Goldenberg Spear. He charges at Gammon like a human tank, ready to finish him off. But here's the catch. Gammon isn't at 100%. We flash back to a doctor's visit, revealing he has a fractured left patella. He was told to stay on his crutches for a while. This injury could be a major problem. The doctor's words echo. Cherish it like it's a part of your body. But in the heat of battle, Gammon has to move. Snap! The sound of his knee giving out is sickening. This could be the end. But this is our boy we're talking about. He grits his teeth through the pain and unleashes the doctor's forbidden tactic. First move. He uses his own crutch as a weapon and brings it down hard on EtgJiaIWkGI's head. One-hit knockout. That's how it's done. With the fight over, Gammon and Junmin start to leave. But Junmin calls out to him, stopping him in his tracks. He's got something to say. Junmin confesses that back in middle school, he was jealous of Gammon. But after coming to high school and realizing how big the world is, he understood. He finally admits that he looked up to Gammon. He tells Gammon, "You were my idol." Even though Junmin is now first in his class with a perfect score, he knows Gammon's strength is something different entirely. Meanwhile, back at Yusung High, the study group is waiting. The whole crew is there, and the vibe is surprisingly wholesome. They're all glad to have Gammon back. Junmin recalls how Gammon, despite being at the bottom of the class, proudly stated his goal was to be number one and never, ever gave up. That perseverance is why he could never forget him. He tells Gammon that with perseverance like his, he could become the top of the country, let alone the school. This encouragement, coming from his old rival, means everything. The two finally patch things up. Junmin jokes that Gammon is one of the top 3 weirdest people he's ever met. Now, they can finally head back to Mantle High for the real club exchange event. Finally, Gammon and his friends arrive at the real destination, Mantle High. Compared to the Hell's Cape next door, this place looks like a paradise. Everyone is excited for a normal school day for once. However, a mysterious man in a suit is waiting right outside the school. He's on the phone with someone he calls Mr. Chairman. His sudden appearance feels ominous. What does he want here? Her friend gestures to the pristine Mantle High campus, suggesting a place like this is a better fit for her. But she just smiles, leaving him hanging. Junmin is so impressed by Mantle High's architecture that he literally thought it was a temple. The man has a point. This place is gorgeous. Just then, the rest of the study group rushes in to meet them, but they're moving so fast that they crash right into Junmin, creating a hilarious pile-up. The sheer speed is incredible. They're like human torpedoes. There's no stopping this level of chaotic energy. And the result? A massive crash landing. Everyone is on the floor. You just have to laugh at the absurdity of it all. As Gammon helps Hankyung up, she has a complete internal meltdown. A 4.0 GPA, student like me fall for a thug. No way, she thinks. Oh, the denial is strong with this one. The fangirling is real. The Mantle High students are laughing at the Yusung crew, calling their school a dump. But Gammon's friends know the truth. Despite his appearance, our boy is serious about studying. They got his back. The club exchange meeting finally begins, and it's surprisingly productive. The Yusung crew is learning a lot from the Mantle High students, how to manage their time, how to support each other. It's genuinely inspiring. They admit it was time well spent, motivating them in many ways. After the meeting, Ms. Lee tells the guys she's going to say hi to the vice principal and we'll catch up with them later. After the event, the Mantle students thank Gammon for saving Junmin and wish him luck. See, even in a world of fighting, good deeds get recognized. Our boy is making friends. Even the judgmental girl from before comes up to Gammon and apologizes for misjudging him. He's winning them over, one person at a time. But the peace doesn't last long. The Monarch High goons show up, and they've got news. Apparently, after Gammon left, someone from Yusung High planted their school flag on Monarch territory. That's a declaration of war. They talk about the guy who did it, calling him a ruthless son of a bitch. Ever since he marked his territory, Monarch High hasn't touched them. Who is this mysterious new player? Leaving the school drama behind for a bit, the study group heads to Namsan Tower to enjoy the city view. Seeing the beautiful skyline makes them even more determined to get into a university in Seoul. They even buy a lock to put on the famous Namsan Lock Bridge, writing their collective goal. Let's go to college. It's a cheesy but heartfelt moment for the whole crew. Meanwhile, Ms. Lee is venting to her friend. She's complaining about everything. The kids who don't listen, the vice principal who looks down on her, how the school is a mess. The stress of working at Yusung is clearly getting to her. But then she admits, I'm a mess too. It's a moment of vulnerability, and the two of them connect over their shared struggles. The study group caps off their perfect day with a group selfie, immortalizing their bond and their promise, symbolized by the orange lock hanging on the bridge. Let's go to college. Yusung's study group. But time moves on. We jump to August, and as Gammon is running to greet his friends, the narration drops a bombshell. That day, Ms. Lee left us. After Ms. Lee's departure, our boy Gammon throws himself into training. He's pushing his body to the limit, doing intense pull-ups on the playground every day, channeling his energy into getting stronger. His hard work is paying off. He's moving with incredible agility, pulling off acrobatic flips with ease. The progress is insane. An onlooker can't help but be impressed. Nice! The school security guard has become Gammon's #1 fan. He watches him train every day, full of praise. He asks about Gammon's leg, and our boy confirms he's all recovered. The guard is amazed by his youthful vitality. The guard worries Gammon's mom will scold him for training so hard. Speaking of which, we cut to Gammon's mom, who's getting ready to leave on a business trip to the US. It's time for a heartfelt goodbye. His mom gives him the full checklist of instructions. Eat breakfast, do the laundry, set multiple alarms. She then asks if he'll do better this semester, and before leaving, tells him not to be sad coming home to an empty house. The scene of Gammon standing alone is heartbreaking. She gives him one last piece of advice. Live like you've always lived, like you're on top of the world. Even though it's hard for her to leave, she has to. The friendly security guard offers his support, telling Gammon to come to him if he needs anything. As the new semester begins, Gammon's reputation has skyrocketed. Rumors are flying that he not only beat the former king, Hamwell Pie, but also his entire family. He's become a legend, the freak freshman everyone whispers about. With Hamwell Pie gone, the student council, which used to be his puppets, is in chaos. A new power vacuum has formed, and the new vice president, Sivan Chun, isn't wasting any time asserting his dominance with brutal force. This new VP, Sivan Chun, is absolutely ruthless, beating a student bloody right in the hallway. It's clear that Yusung High isn't going to find peace just because one tyrant fell. Another has already risen. But at least around our boy, things are looking up. The former delinquents are now reformed, cheering him on to study hard. There's a sense of peace at Yusung High, with no more ties to outside bad influences. Gammon thought that with things finally calming down, he could start studying seriously under Ms. Lee. Or so he thought. A sudden turn of events is about to shatter his peaceful school life. The news spreads like wildfire through the school. Students are running around, whispering in disbelief. A teacher breaks the news officially. MS, Lee quit her job. Everyone is in shock. Gammon immediately tries to call Ms. Lee, but her number has been disconnected. The new homeroom teacher confirms it. She quit without a word, even changing her number. This doesn't make any sense. The whole class is buzzing about the sudden change. Especially for the top student, Hamin Kim, this is a huge blow. Gammon watches her, a complicated expression on his face, knowing how much Ms. Lee meant to her. Thinking back, Ms. Lee went through so much at this school. She endured threats and hardship, but never gave up. Why would she quit now, when things were finally starting to get better? It's a mystery. The study group refuses to believe she quit just because she was tired. Her staunchest defenders scream that she would never do such a thing. They're convinced there's more to the story. As the students argue about what really happened, the new homeroom teacher, Mr. Sukyong introduces himself. Will he have the answers they're looking for? The new teacher confirms their suspicions. Ms. Lee was forced out. He tells them to keep a secret. Just then, a new character arrives, an orange-haired boy who introduces himself as Hyenwoo Lee, Jiwoo Lee's twin brother. Hyenwoo explains that ever since his sister dropped out, she's disappeared. No one knows where she is. And to make matters worse, the mysterious man in the suit we saw earlier has found him. The man in the suit seems to know something. He implies that Ms. Lee disappeared because of a lot of pressure from another source. The plot thickens, pointing to a larger conspiracy at play. Hyenwoo, desperate for answers, confronts the study group. He grabs Hankyong, demanding to know what happened to Ms. Lee. The search for the truth is about to get intense. Picking up right where we left off, Hyenwoo is demanding answers. But before he can go any further with Hankyong, our orange-haired boy, Gunyeb, steps in, calling him an asshole. Oh, you know this isn't going to end well. Hyenwoo doesn't even flinch. He just squares up and throws a mean right hook. And BM, Hyenwoo lands a solid hit. Look at Gunyeb struggling, completely caught off guard. You can feel that punch through the screen. Gunyeb is absolutely fuming right now. That expression says it all. Meanwhile, the other Yusung students are just watching the chaos unfold. This is just another Tuesday at the school for future criminals. You've got dudes complaining about stretch shirts and others sizing up the fighters. Everyone's just out for themselves here. But this isn't just a random scuffle. Hyun-woo starts dropping some major truth bombs, calling Gunyeb out for backstabbing him in the past. Clearly, there's some bad blood between these two. And he's not bluffing. Hyun-woo lays it all out. Just a few months ago, Gunyeb was deep in some nasty business. We're talking breaking and entering, assault. Dude was a straight-up menace. Getting called out like that, Gunyeb absolutely loses it. He tackles Hyun-woo, screaming that he's going to kick his ass. He's clearly trying to bury his past. But Hyun-woo is digging it all up. He's yelling at Hyun-woo to stop pretending he's some righteous hero. But Hyun-woo hits back with a cold, hard truth. People never change. Oof, that's gotta sting. Just then, things take an unexpected turn. A detective shows up and pulls Gunyeb aside. Turns out, this detective knows all about Gunyeb's past, including an incident where he nearly got a permanent record for stabbing a senior. The detective breaks it down for him. There are two paths for juvenile offenders. One leads to probation with no criminal record. The other, a stain that follows you for life. Gunyeb was teetering on the edge of the second path. And here's the massive twist. The person who saved him from that fate was none other than Ms. Lee. She was the one writing petitions, vouching for him, and giving him a second chance when no one else would, even when it put her in danger. And hearing this, Gunyeb just breaks down. The very person he's been fighting against is the one who saved his future. He bolts, screaming for his teacher. The guilt is hitting him like a freight train. And who does he run into? Hyun-woo, of course. But this time, the fight is different. Gunyeb isn't just lashing out in anger. He's fighting with a desperate purpose. You can see the fire in his eyes. Even Hyun-woo can tell something's changed. He notes that Gunyeb is completely different from the last time they fought. Gunyeb declares he has no choice but to take him down and make him talk. The stakes just got a whole lot higher. Look at him go. The attacks are relentless, fueled by regret and a burning need for answers. Every punch feels like he's trying to smash through his own past to get to the truth. And the final blow, slam. You can feel the impact reverberating. He's putting every ounce of his emotion into this fight. Even after taking a brutal beating, Hyun-woo tells him to stop looking for Han-kyung. But Gunyeb, gagged and bloody, refuses. This isn't about pride anymore. It's about finding the one person who believed in him. Meanwhile, back in the classroom, it's the first day of the new semester, and the teacher is already calling out Gunyeb for being absent. Our boy Gammon, however, looks dead serious. He knows something is up. And just like that, Jae-woo comes running with a message. Hyun-woo is in the hospital and has something to tell them. The study group gears up to leave, thinking they're finally getting a lead. Little do they know, things are about to get a whole lot more complicated. Just as they're heading out, BAM, a whole new crew blocks their path. And who are they looking for? Our boy Gammon, of course. It's like they say, trouble comes in waves. And look who's leading the charge. A new face, Dojin-woo. Our boy Gammon looks stunned. This guy's appearance means the larger high school turf war is officially spilling into their lives. We cut to the study group, and the vibe is tense. They're looking at their battered friend, and you can just feel the frustration. To see their former powerhouse so beat up, who would have thought? They quickly piece it together. This smells like retaliation from White Lead, probably orchestrated by Hamilpie himself. Now that they can't contact him anymore, they're convinced it's all connected and decide to dig deeper into the whole conspiracy. Just as they're about to head home for the day, they find their exit blocked by a crowd of unwelcome guests. Looks like the trouble for today is far from over. And this new crew is clearly not here to make friends. They're instantly hostile, acting like they own the place. The tension in the air is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Turns out, these guys are from EtgJiaIWkGI High, known as the North White Lead. The high school scene in Incheon is split in two. The North, ruled by EtgJiaIWkGI, and the South, which used to be Hamilpie's territory. This is a full-blown gang war. While the North was united by charisma and loyalty, Hamilpie ruled the South with an iron fist, crushing anyone who dared to challenge him. But now that Hamwell is gone, a power vacuum has formed, and the North is moving in to claim the territory. Faced with this new threat, some of Yusung's own heavy hitters are getting restless. There's talk of reforming the old Yansa trio. After all, they're seniors now. It's time to step up. And look who's gathered. Some of Yusung's biggest names. Tae-oh Kong, the former #1 freshman, Joo-jin Kim, the student council president, and Mugi Choi, a former member of Hamilpie's crew. This lineup looks ready for war. These guys usually can't stand each other, but a common enemy makes for strange allies. The student council president, Jujin, lays it down plain and simple. This is Yusung territory, and they won't let outsiders run wild. The other students are buzzing. They know these three aren't suddenly best friends. It's all about pride. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? A battle to defend Yusung's honor is about to kick off. Right at this tense moment, our boy Gammon shows up. All he wants to do is study, but he can't just stand by while his school is being invaded. As a Yusung student, he decides he has no choice but to jump in. The protagonist has entered the chat. He was on his way to the hospital, but it looks like trouble found him first. An enemy goon lands a cheap shot, knocking Gammon's glasses clean off. Oh, you know what that means? The seal has been broken, and these idiots just keep pushing their luck, grabbing our boy's hair and taunting him, calling him a mutt. They have no idea they just lit the fuse on a bomb. With a sickening crack, Gammon instantly retaliates, snapping the guy's wrist. He roars at him to let go, his entire aura changing in an instant. The surrounding thugs are completely stunned. They mess with the wrong nerd. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Jiawu and the others get word that the Northern Alliance is invading the school. To make matters worse, they learn that Gunyeb showed up with a white lead thug. The plot is getting thicker by the second. The group gathers to discuss Ms. Lee's disappearance. It seems she had some serious dirt on a powerful figure, meaning her vanishing act is way more than simple retaliation. Gunyeb, feeling responsible for getting her fired, is overwhelmed with guilt. Right then, Gammon arrives at the hospital. The group discusses the grim possibility that Ms. Lee might have met the worst possible fate. A battle for truth and redemption is about to begin. As night falls, our boy Gammon adjusts his tie and walks down the hallway alone. His expression is resolute, as if he's made a critical decision. It's the quiet before the storm, and it's absolutely chilling. In another part of the city, inside a shady warehouse, the leader of the Northern Alliance, EtgJiaIWkGI, is holding a very special, welcoming party. The setup, the atmosphere, this is a top-tier villain entrance right here. He announces with a smile that for this recruitment drive, they're only picking one person. The crowd erupts in confusion. EtgJiaIWkGI's smile turns predatory. This isn't a recruitment meeting. It's a goddamn survival game. Back at the White Lead recruitment, everyone is losing their minds. They thought this was a standard initiation, but now it's a battle royale? This boss clearly doesn't play by the rules, and people are starting to get pissed. Before anyone can even process it, the first move is made. Some bald dude gets taken out in an instant, and chaos erupts. This is a straight-up cage match to find the strongest fighter. EtgJiaIWkGI watches the brawl from the sidelines with a cold expression. His intentions are crystal clear. He's not looking for a bunch of grunts. He wants one true monster. This brutal selection process has just begun. Cutting back to the school, a frantic Jiawu runs up to Gammon, asking what the plan is. Gammon says he's going to find Gunyeb to get some answers, but Jiawu immediately challenges him. How are you going to do that? Do you even know where he is? Just then, Gammon spots two familiar faces in the distance. They're from EtgJiaIWkGI, former members of the White Lead Army. Looks like if they want to lead, they'll have to start with them. The study group tries to follow them sneakily, but they end up running right into them. The situation gets incredibly awkward, and everyone just freezes on the spot. Turns out the EtgJiaIWkGI guys are also feeling the heat from the Northern Alliance. They explain that the leader, EtgJiaIWkGI, is making aggressive moves, trying to take over all of Incheon. Meanwhile, back at the warehouse, the bloody selection is in full swing. Gunyeb, desperate to get information, has thrown himself into the fray and is unleashing some serious power. But he soon finds himself cornered by a tougher opponent. The guy grabs him, lecturing him about how someone so desperate for survival should give the seniors a chance. Talk about a guilt trip. Gunyeb isn't buying it for a second. He responds with a powerful kick that sends the guy flying. If you want to survive here, you do it with your own fists, not by begging for scraps. After a brutal battle, Gunyeb is one of the last men standing. And that's when EtgJiaIWkGI makes his grand entrance. This is the leader of the Northern Incheon Alliance, a dangerously ambitious figure. Gammon and his friends recognize EtgJiaIWkGI instantly. They ran into him at the construction site before and could tell even then that he wasn't on the same side as Hanwell Pai. Now it's clear, he's an even more formidable enemy. The guys from EtgJiaIWkGI reveal their backstory. They were delinquents trying to turn their lives around, but the rise of the Northern Alliance has dragged them back into the fight. Jiawu can't help but sweat, realizing how serious this is. We cut to the hospital, where Hyenwoo is having a heart-to-heart with a girl he's close with. He seems stuck on the idea that people don't change, but she pushes back, telling him that's just an excuse people make when they fail. She encourages him, saying that deep down, people want to change but are afraid to try. As long as there's someone who believes in you, there's always hope. Her words are like a ray of light cutting through his cynical worldview. Back at the warehouse, the battle royale is finally over. Young-hyun announces that there is a clear winner. And there, breathing heavily but standing tall, is Gunyeb. He won. Young-hyun approaches and asks for his name. Gunyeb tells him. But then, Young-hyun's expression shifts. He tells Gunyeb he'll make him regret this day and storms off. What a bizarre turn of events. It's revealed that after winning, Gunyeb declared in front of everyone that he wants to join White Lead, so he can surpass Young-hyun and become the next successor. The sheer audacity of this guy is off the charts. Meanwhile, Gammon and Jiwoo are struggling to find Gunyeb when a new character appears. A bald dude introduces himself as Do-hun Young, Gunyeb's self-proclaimed best friend. This Do-hun guy seems a bit slow on the uptake, grumbling about how his best friend has been ignoring him lately. But it's clear he knows where Gunyeb is. He's been tailing Gammon, thinking he's being sneaky, but when he turns around, surprise, Gammon and Jiwoo are right behind him, cutting off his escape. He's trapped. Jiwoo immediately gets to work, giving him a friendly but firm head scratch while demanding to know where Gunyeb is. Looks like this best friend isn't getting out of this alley until he spills the beans. Under pressure, the guy suddenly snaps, screaming, "I don't know," at the top of his lungs. This reaction is so over the top. He's either a terrible liar or genuinely clueless. Gammon sees right through it and calmly says, "If you're really his friend, you wouldn't want him to go down the wrong path, would you?" Do-hun just scoffs at this and turns the tables, asking Gammon, "Have you ever truly wanted revenge on someone?" He then launches into his twisted philosophy on revenge, claiming that being a friend means supporting whatever they want to do, even if it's self-destructive. Jiwoo can't take it anymore and calls him out, yelling that what he's describing isn't friendship, it's just pure selfishness. Despite getting chewed out, Do-hun seems proud of himself, thinking he stood his ground and didn't betray his friend. But one look at Jiwoo's face tells you this conversation is far from over. Gammon cuts right to the heart of it, stating that letting a friend walk into their own destruction is neither friendship nor loyalty. That comment seems to finally hit a nerve with Do-hun. Finally, a mysterious figure appears and gives them an address, a construction warehouse in Goyan. It seems this is where Gunyeb is hiding out. A major confrontation is now inevitable. Meanwhile, in a car somewhere, Young-hyun is laughing his head off. His subordinate asks what's so funny, and he explains how amusing he found Gunyeb's bold declaration about surpassing him. Turns out, his subordinate was watching Gunyeb closely the whole time and overheard his entire insane speech about wanting to join White Lead. Young-hyun is genuinely intrigued by this audacious newcomer. He chuckles, saying no one has ever had the guts to say they want his position to his face, which makes him want to take Gunyeb under his wing. But his right-hand man raises a valid point. What if the kid is holding a grudge and is here for revenge? Young-hyun's smile becomes much more calculating. He admits that he once considered killing a higher-up in the organization himself. He knows that someone with a grudge is capable of anything. He's both amused by and wary of Gunyeb. Cutting back to Gammon, we see him sitting alone against a wall, lost in thought. Jiwoo and the others find him and try to get him to go home. But the look on Gammon's face says it all. His mind is already made up. He flashes back to his first day at Yusung, when everyone treated him like an outcast. He remembers that feeling of isolation and helplessness, and he doesn't want Gunyeb to go through it alone. Just then, the two goons from EtgJiaIWkGI spot him and yell, "Gammon!" There he is. Startled, Gammon immediately gets up and chases after them. He has to get a Gunyeb before they do. But it's too late. The crew has already found some other students and are mercilessly beating them down. Their goal is to eliminate anyone who might get in their way. Finally, they corner Gammon in an alley. "You're the last one," the leader says coldly. It looks like a big fight is unavoidable now. Facing a whole gang of thugs, our boy Gammon and Gunyeb stand back to back, not a hint of fear in their eyes. The enemies are telling them to get lost if they don't want to get hurt. A 2 versus many showdown is about to begin. These guys think they can win with sheer numbers, attacking from both sides. But they are seriously underestimating our protagonist's power. This is going to be fun to watch. On the other side of the brawl, Gunyeb confronts the suit-clad guy who once gave him a ride. Gunyeb is furious, demanding to know why he beat up Hyunwoo, but the man remains calm, as if nothing happened. Nearby, someone starts to sow doubt. Can Gammon really handle that many guys? Another scoffs? Then how about 100? And right on cue, an absolute flood of enemies pours in from all directions. The man in the suit seems to have anticipated this. He just picks up Gunyeb, throws him on his motorcycle, and prepares to bolt. What is this? Is he trying to ditch his allies? Gunyeb thinks the guy is just trying to stop him from forming his study group. But the truth is revealed. They're also looking for Ms. Lee. It turns out they were on the same side all along, just going about it the wrong way. The misunderstanding is finally cleared up. Meanwhile, young Hyun's purple-haired subordinate starts spilling the beans to Gammon about Ms. Lee's disappearance. It seems he knows the whole inside story. But before he can reveal the truth, the goons swarm them. Gammon is completely surrounded by enemies armed with pipes and bats. It's time for him to go into beast mode. A quick dodge, a swift chop. Gammon's movements are clean and precise, taking down an enemy in a flash. His power level is off the charts. This is a completely one-sided beating. In front of Gammon, these thugs are like paper tigers, getting torn apart effortlessly. He's got his protagonist halo on full display, and it is a glorious sight. Another flying kick, another one down. Gammon moves through the crowd like a whirlwind, an unstoppable force. This isn't just a fight, it's a performance. Everywhere he goes, bodies hit the floor. Gammon has only one goal: break through the encirclement, find Gunyeb, and get the truth. He screams Gunyeb's name as he fights, sprinting towards the motorcycle. He knows he's running out of time. Just as Gammon is about to catch up, a white car comes screeching out of nowhere and slams right into the motorcycle. The impact sends Gunyeb and the driver flying. Lying on the ground, barely conscious, Gunyeb's thoughts drift to Hankyong. It's revealed that over the summer, she was investigating the death of Gammon's mother and stumbled upon another related truth. There's a much larger conspiracy at play here. He finally manages to utter the words, "She died." This statement seems to refer not just to Ms. Lee, but maybe to Gammon's mother as well. Hearing this, Gammon looks absolutely thunderstruck. Gammon's mind flashes back to all his moments with Hankyong, her bright smile, her kindness. He can't believe that she could be caught up in all of this danger. And who was driving the car? None other than Young Hyun's crew. It seems they've been watching this entire time. All roads lead back to the leader of the Northern Alliance. Outside the warehouse, Young Hyun's men block Gammon's path, telling him this is a private white lead meeting. The woman in the orange jacket in the car seems to be a key player in all this. The woman looks at Gammon with contempt. "Your study group, so go study," she says, warning him to stay out of their business. Jiwoo is fuming, but Gammon remains eerily calm. He's processing everything. In the dead of night, Gammon and Gunyeb stand side by side. Faced with an overwhelming enemy and a seemingly endless darkness, they don't back down. A long, unending battle awaits them. This fight isn't just for their friends or their teacher. It's for family. Even for his long-lost uncle. The final piece of the puzzle is about to be revealed. And we kick things off right in the aftermath of the chaos. Our boys just wrecked this crew of suits, and the ones left standing are absolutely baffled. What kind of high schoolers can whoop these grown men's asses? They're asking. But their boss calls it off. They're late for a meeting. Yeah, you better run. Our boys just gave you a free pass. Meanwhile, Gammon and Jiwoo are booking it down the street. After catching their breath and making sure no one's on their tail, the mood gets heavy. Jiwoo, looking seriously worried, starts to bring up the one person on all of their minds, Ms. Lee. But the news that comes through is absolutely gut-wrenching. A single sentence shatters their world. She died. Look at our boy Gammon. He's completely frozen, the weight of those words crashing down on him. As his friend leaves, Gammon is left all alone to process this nightmare. Under the lonely streetlights, Jiwoo also heads home, dragging his luggage and his heavy heart with him. The silence is deafening. Everyone is adrift, lost in their own grief. The shock sends Gammon's mind spiraling back in time, back to the brutal training that forged him. He remembers being relentlessly beaten down, pushing his body to the absolute limit, day in and day out. Every corner of the school became his training ground. Look at the raw power in those movements. Every punch, every kick was a testament to his unbreakable will. This was his grind. And the one pushing him, the one who never let him quit, was the man in the blue EtgJiaIWkGI tracksuit. This guy was his mentor, his rock. His mentor never held back, unleashing a barrage of attacks that left Gammon completely overwhelmed. This wasn't just sparring, it was a brutal lesson in survival. Even late into the night, the training was relentless. Well, looky here, the mentor would taunt, easily dodging Gammon's attacks. He was constantly testing our boy's limits. And as expected, Gammon gets sent flying. Crash. He hits the ground hard. The physical pain was nothing compared to the feeling of utter helplessness. Standing over him, his mentor lays into him. "I told you, no half-assing it. What, you've kept your nose too buried in your books these days." Then with a grin, he asks, "How you doing, kiddo?" In another memory, the same man is slurping down noodles while a tearful Gammon lies beside him. "You're going through a tough school life," he says, "just like I did." He gets it. He's been there. And this man is none other than Gammon's long-lost uncle. His trainer, his mentor, his family. The uncle mentions he heard Gammon's female teacher was great, and that praise now just twists the knife in Gammon's heart. Snapping back to the present, the memory of Ms. Lee's warm smile flashes in his mind. But the empty bowl in front of him is a stark reminder of the empty feeling in his chest. I still can't believe she's dead. The pain is just too real. Seeing Gammon completely broken, his uncle tries a unique approach. He starts talking about the multiverse theory he saw on YouTube. He's explaining that every choice we make creates a parallel universe. A wild theory, but he's desperate to give Gammon something to hold on to. His point? Maybe in one of those infinite universes, Ms. Lee is still alive. Maybe she just made a different choice. It's a crazy, far-fetched idea, but for a guy who's lost everything, it's a glimmer of hope. So don't you give up on your teacher, his uncle says, just like she never gave up on you. And that's it. That's the spark. Gammon clenches his fist, a fire reigniting in his eyes. Our boy's back. The uncle decides to crash for a while, giving Gammon some much-needed backup. The next day, it's back to school, and the study group is reunited. The vibe is tense. They're not here to study. They're here for answers. And it turns out, JiAIWkGI has been busy. He pulls out something he swiped from Hamel Pie's hideout. He tells the group this could be the clue they've been looking for, the key to this whole mess. But the clue is a bombshell. They learn Ms. Lee told Hamel Pie to just live his life, as if she was trying to carry some heavy burden all alone. The revelation shatters them. Cian is devastated, collapsing in tears. The feeling of being left behind is just too much. The group is falling apart, drowning in despair and confusion. But Gammon isn't having it. He steps up, reaching out his hand. He's not going to let them crumble. Not now. A huge debate erupts. Some are ready to accept the worst, but Cian refuses. We haven't seen a body, she cries, clinging to hope. And then JiAIWkGI drops the hammer. He's not giving up. He's going all in, so there will be no regrets. With their resolve hardened, JiAIWkGI takes command. Everyone sit down. I've got something to show you. He's ready to reveal the ace he's been hiding, the item he took from Hamel's hideout. And the big secret is a letter. A letter from Ms. Lee to Hamel Pie. The whole group is stunned. Weren't they enemies? Maybe it's a disciplinary letter? Someone guesses. The mystery just keeps getting deeper. JiAIWkGI explains that he once overheard Ms. Lee praise Hamel, saying he had potential. So when he found this unopened letter, his gut told him to take it. But what he found inside was even more shocking than the letter itself. Inside the envelope is a photograph of a house. This is it. Their one solid lead. They figure Ms. Lee must have found a secret, and this is the key. But just as they're about to plan their next move, another teacher barges in and kicks them out of their club room. Without a teacher in charge, they're not even considered a real club anymore. They've lost their sanctuary. It's one setback after another, but look at their faces. They're not giving up. No room? No problem. Gammon uploads the photo to the group chat and turns the entire city into their investigation board. The study group has officially become a detective agency, and everyone is on the case. But it's a needle in a haystack. They try image searches, they scour neighborhoods, they ask around. Nothing. A full week later, they've hit a dead end. The frustration and exhaustion are setting in. Back at home, Gammon is still glued to his phone, searching. His uncle, seeing him struggling, quietly offers him a drink. It's a small gesture, but that silent support means the world to our boy. While walking, Gammon thinks he's finally got a lock on the location via Street View, but the angle is all wrong, blocked by another building. And then, the ultimate frustration. Just as he's about to pinpoint the address, his battery dies. You have got to be kidding me. Just as Gammon's phone dies, and he's left stranded, a breakthrough happens elsewhere. One of the other group members recognizes the building in the photo. I know where it is, he exclaims. It's near where I used to work part-time. The hope is back. Their very own human GPS offers to lead the way, joking that Gammon will owe him dishwashing duty for a month. With the mood lifted, they set off immediately. The mission is back on. But this is Yusung High territory. Trouble is never far behind. On their way, they get cornered by a bunch of punks from another school. You can just feel the tension escalating. A fight is brewing. These guys are clearly looking for a fight, and they've got their eyes on Gammon. The leader starts running his mouth, and before you know it, thwack. Gammon's friend is on the ground, and Gammon is still recovering from his last big fight. He's not at 100%. The bald dude sees his chance and moves in for the kill. This is not looking good for our boy. But just in the nick of time, slam, someone comes out of nowhere and completely demolishes the attacker. One entrance. Who is this mystery savior? Gammon and his friend are stunned. They have no idea who this guy is. An ally? Another student from Yusung? The questions are piling up. Meanwhile, let's check in with the competition. We're introduced to the Northern Alliance, a massive gang that's been conquering the city district by district. And their second-in-command just announced their next target, Yusung High. And yes, they've heard all about Gammon Yun, the Four Eyes who took down the legendary Hamel Pie. Some of them are scoffing, but the leadership knows he's not to be underestimated. Turns out the bald dude from before was one of their lieutenants. The alliance leaders are now arguing. Some wanted to attack Yusung immediately, others preach caution. The tension within their own ranks is thick. Their leader puts an end to the bickering. We've just been watching and waiting, he says, for the new number one, Gammon Yun, to show some initiative. Oh yeah, our boy is on the radar of some very dangerous people. The leader lays down the law. No one attacks Yusung without his say-so. Gammon Yun isn't somebody you guys should look down on, he warns. Especially if you get your ass beat and tarnish the name of the Northern Alliance. You hear that? That's respect. But of course, there's always one hothead who won't listen. The bald guy isn't taking that disrespect lying down. He starts making calls, planning to go back to Yusung to get his revenge behind his boss's back. And who do they find lurking around? The blue-haired dude who saved Gammon. Looks like round 2 is about to begin. The bald guy immediately starts running his mouth, throwing insults and provocations. But the blue-haired kid isn't fazed at all. He fires right back with ice-cold confidence, and you can tell he means business. Just as things are about to pop off, the blue-haired kid's friends tell him to stand down. They turn to leave, but the bald guy mistakes it for weakness and starts taunting them. Big mistake. Because the next thing you know, slam, he gets tossed like a rag doll. Who the fuck are you? He grunts from the floor. The kid's response? Me? An idle trainee until this very moment. An idle trainee? This guy is full of surprises. And get this. This idle trainee is Sivon Chun, the student council president of Yusung High. He's here to stamp out the trash outside the campus. The power this guy radiates is unreal. Since when are student council presidents this badass? Sivon lays out the options. Want to fuck off now, or fuck off after I beat your asses? The choice is theirs. The Northern Alliance thugs are completely shook. They had no idea Yusung High was hiding a monster like this. The bald guy clearly chose poorly. He charges in, yelling, and gets absolutely dismantled by Sivon. It's not even a fight, it's a demolition. Crack. The sound of bones breaking echoes as Sivon tears through them. These guys, who thought they were hot stuff, are getting utterly humiliated. The student council president is cleaning house, and he's not even breaking a sweat. And here's another twist. It turns out Sivon used to roll with Minwan Ma, one of the former top dogs of the school. This guy has some serious history. The plot just keeps getting thicker. Gammon and his guide watch the entire beatdown happen, completely stunned. They just witnessed the student council president single-handedly wipe out a squad from the Northern Alliance. Yusung High is a whole different level of crazy. With the detour officially over, Gammon helps his friend up. Time to get back to the mission. They're still looking for that building. And finally, they've found it. The building from the photograph. Exactly like in the photo, right? It's a place called Chance Therapy. This has to be it. But what secrets are hiding inside? Gammon confirms with his uncle. They are absolutely sure they came to the right place. Little do they know, they've already been spotted. They've just walked right into the lion's den. As expected, the moment Gammon and his uncle show up, they're surrounded by lookouts. Who are you? They demand, trying to act tough. They have no idea who they're messing with. The uncle steps forward, a smirk on his face. Oh, you were talking to us? He says, before unleashing a lightning-fast punch. No time for pleasantries. It's time to get down to business. Gammon calmly explains, we're looking for our friend's house. Is there a problem? But his uncle has no patience for their games. Get lost, he sneers, while I still have the patience. The final warning has been issued. These thugs clearly don't know when to quit, so Gammon and his uncle decide to teach them a lesson. This is just a light warm-up for our dynamic duo. And just like that, the guards are getting absolutely pummeled. As they take out the trash, the uncle confirms his suspicions, so there's something nasty hidden up in this joint. In the middle of the brawl, the uncle tells Gammon, keep this a secret from your mother, okay? The casual banter is legendary. They're so in sync, taunting their enemies 1 second and knocking them out the next. Gammon is a beast in his own right. Look at that perfect form. Crunch. He lands a devastating blow, showing off the skills his uncle taught him. The student has truly become a master. They move like a whirlwind of destruction, a perfectly coordinated fighting machine. These poor thugs never stood a chance against this level of power and teamwork. No matter how hard the enemy tries, they can't even land scratch. The uncle and nephew duo is simply unstoppable. And just like that, the fight is over. The area is littered with defeated opponents. For Gammon and his uncle, it was just another Tuesday. With the guards taken care of, it's time for an interrogation. They grab one of the survivors, who is absolutely terrified and ready to spill all the beans. He confesses that ever since a female teacher came snooping around, they were ordered to identify anyone who came near the area. This confirms it. Ms. Lee was here, and her investigation put her in grave danger. Gammon presses him for the name of the big boss, but the thug is just a hired gun. All he knows is that all the information goes up to one man, EtgJiaIWkGI. The name hits them like a ton of bricks. That's the head of the Northern Alliance. Suddenly, all the pieces are clicking into place. The thug explains they aren't core members of the gang. They were just hired to be lookouts. EtgJiaIWkGI is the one who truly manages this territory. And Gammon connects the dots. If EtgJiaIWkGI manages this area, that means he knows what happened to Ms. Lee. They finally have a name. They finally have a target. As he processes this, Gammon notices something off about the gas meters in the corner. It looks like a hidden entrance. But before he can investigate, he's grabbed from behind. An ambush. After getting the intel they needed, the uncle tells Gammon to head home first. He says he's going job hunting, but we all know what that means. He's going after EtgJiaIWkGI. But the trouble isn't over. Back at school, another crew from the Northern Alliance has shown up. They're looking for payback for the guys Sivan took out. They find the bald guy's crew, who are still licking their wounds. These Yusung-hai motherfuckers. They curse. The Northern Alliance is regrouping, and they're ready for an all-out war. And at last, we see the face of the man himself, EtgJiaIWkGI, the leader of the Northern Alliance. That smirk on his face tells you everything you need to know. He's a dangerous man, and he's about to bring the fight right to our boy's doorstep. The guy leading the charge is Hamin Kim, Shanghai's number 3 and a member of the Northern Alliance. Look at this dude. He just oozes bad vibes. You can tell he's going to be a major problem. And it turns out he has a history with one of the study group members, Hak Jin-hyo. A flashback to middle school shows Hamin for what he truly is, a vicious bully pouring milk over a kneeling student's head. This guy is pure evil. Now, reunited in high school, Hamin picks up right where he left off, taunting Hakjin about his past, calling him Minwon, Ma's little follower. The psychological warfare is real. And when words aren't enough, he lets his fists do the talking. Smack! He viciously strikes another student, showing absolutely no mercy. Hakjin and his friend are completely outmatched. Hamin toys with them, beating them down with brutal efficiency. It's a one-sided massacre. Laughing like a maniac, Hamin declares war. Go spread the news at your school, he snarls. We're going to tear every last one of you apart. He's not just here to fight. He's here to send a message. When the beaten and bruised students stumble back to the study group, Jiawu is enraged. What the hell happened to you? He demands. The battle lines have been drawn. Jiawu is ready to go on a warpath, talking about giving them his signature Junli kick. But just then, a new face appears in the doorway. It's the guy with the ponytail, the one who saved Sahayan before. The group thanks him for his help, but there's immediate tension between him and Jiawu. They talk about a blood feud, hinting at a complicated and violent past. The drama never stops at this school. And speak of the devil, Hamin Kim himself storms into the school, looking for the ponytail guy. What the fuck did you do to my boys from Shanghai? He screams. The confrontation is happening right here, right now. It turns out our ponytail hero had stepped in and disciplined some of Hamin's crew when he caught them bullying another student. So now it's personal. A massive brawl is about to break out in the middle of the hallway. But the Northern Alliance's invasion has an unintended effect. It's uniting the students of Yusung. They're tired of being pushed around. What goes around comes around, they shout. The sleeping giant is waking up. Gammon taps Hakjin on the shoulder, a look of pure determination on his face. He's not just the leader of the study group anymore. He's becoming the leader this school needs to fight back. Looking at the chaos, Gammon reflects on the old days under Hamilpai's rule. It was violent, sure, but at least no one dared to mess with Yusung Hai. In that moment, he understands. It's his responsibility now. He has to step up. Meanwhile, outside the school, Hamin's crew shows their true colors by harassing an old woman selling vegetables on the street. Seriously? These guys are the absolute worst. But Jiawu isn't about to let that slide. He steps in to defend the old woman. He might be a hothead, but his heart is always in the right place. The thugs are about to jump Jiawu when another hero makes a dramatic entrance. This new arrival is one of the legendary 3 Chuls of Yansu. The thugs are shocked. Even with his arm in a cast, this guy radiates power. Yusung Hai's roster of hidden bosses is just insane, and he doesn't waste any time. Whack! He takes out one of the punks with a single, lightning-fast kick. The Northern Alliance seriously underestimated the sleeping dragons of Yusung Hai. Meanwhile, Sunchul's friends are looking for him, but our boy has something more important to attend to. Turns out, The badass fighter we just met is also a devoted grandson, paying respects at his grandpa's memorial. A quiet, heavy moment for one of Yusung's toughest. And speaking of Yusung's legends, the three chuls had apparently made a pact to quit fighting and hit the books for the college entrance exams. But let's be real, at a school like this, that's easier said than done. Look at this smirk. Trouble just has a way of finding them. And just like that, the peace treaty goes up in smoke. One little provocation and slam. It's an all-out brawl. These guys are absolute magnets for chaos. Just look at this mess. Red hair versus blonde, fists flying everywhere. So much for studying, right? It seems their knuckles have a mind of their own, and they're not interested in textbooks. The situation keeps escalating. Someone even brought a weapon to the fist fight. These guys play for keeps, showing absolutely no mercy. At Yusung High, violence is the only language everyone understands. And it looks like one of the chuls got caught slipping. This arrogant purple-haired punk is standing over him, mocking their title. The three chuls of Yansu? More like three posers. Oh dude, you're seriously asking for it. This guy's ego is off the charts. He's actually bragging about taking them on 4-1, saying that if he messes them up, he'll earn his own title. Buddy, you're about to find out why they have those nicknames in the first place. Just as Mr. Purple Hair is getting cocky, a new challenger enters the ring, and she's not messing around. Look at that determined glare as she lands a devastating punch, sending him flying. She follows up with a powerful kick. The movements are so fluid and brutal. This girl is an absolute beast. The ladies of Yusung High are just as terrifying as the guys. The Northern Alliance clearly didn't do their homework. So that's the story. This whole flashback shows how the three chuls were constantly targeted by the Northern Alliance scum. They were provoked again and again until they had no choice but to fight back. These guys are relentless, screaming die, motherfucker. This isn't a school rivalry. It's a war. They're even bullying elderly women on the street. Are you kidding me? These guys are the lowest of the low. That's a line you just don't cross, and they've officially pissed off the wrong crew. You mess with one of them, you mess with all of them. The sound of bones cracking fills the air as our boys unleash hell. This isn't a fight anymore. It's pure retribution. Everyone's pushed to their absolute limit, and the inner beast is unleashed. That roaring tiger isn't just for show. It's the raw, untamed fury of Yusung High finally breaking free. And we're back to the present fight. Sunchul, still nursing that injured arm, is taking on the purple-haired punk, Hakjin. It's a tough matchup, but look at his eyes. There's zero fear in them. Even with one arm out of commission, Sunchul's fighting instincts are off the charts. He takes a hard hit, but immediately resets his stance, ready for whatever's coming next. Sunchul admits to himself this is tougher than he thought, but he's not backing down. Meanwhile, Hakjin is starting to sweat. He can't figure out how a guy with a busted arm is still putting up such a fight. He senses victory is close, but a seed of doubt has been planted. Hakjin's cronies are cheering him on, telling him to finish the job. But the pressure is getting to him. He's terrified of losing, of the humiliation. And in that moment of hesitation, Sunchul makes his move. Here he comes. Don't fucking chicken out. Sunchul roars as he closes the distance, putting everything he has into this final charge. BLAM, a clash of pure will. But while Sunchul's fight rages on, we cut to another scene, and it's not looking good. Huang Dao, another of the three chuls, just got taken out with one punch. Holy crap. The Northern Alliance has their own heavy hitters, and this guy means business. The Northern Alliance immediately starts gathering their forces. Turns out, this was no random encounter. They got a tip that Yusung was coming for them. This whole thing was a setup, a preemptive strike. Even on the ground, Wangdal's still got that fighting spirit. But the guy who beat him says something shocking. At Yusung High, he's not even considered a contender. Is he being humble, or is Yusung just that stacked with monsters? The power levels are insane. Let's rewind to 1 hour ago. The girls from the study group were planning to hit a cafe, but the session gets called off. Why? Because the boys have something to take care of. Look at the girl on the right. She's so over it. The blood feud drama is just another Tuesday at Yusung High for her. Our boy Gammon is heading out, turning down his friend's offer to come along. He glances at a concerned text from another buddy, a quiet reminder of what he's fighting for. The chance for them all to just study in peace. He made a promise to protect the study group, a promise he intends to keep no matter what. This isn't just a brawl, it's a battle to defend their dream. Even with Hanwell gone, his presence is still felt. Gammon's determination is unwavering as he tells his friends, I'm going to make good on that promise. He's all in. And another one joins the cause. This orange-haired dude, Mugia Choi, has his own score to settle with the guys who broke his arm. Then I'm coming with you. The fellowship is growing. Well, look who decided to show up. It's the student council president, Sivon Chun, just casually lurking. This guy is a total wild card, and his sudden appearance adds another layer of mystery to this whole situation. Sivon might talk a big game about not wanting to be president, but his actions speak louder. The other students see him as the guy who took down the mighty Hanwol, and they're laughing because they know he's a beast in a fight. The Yusung crew is assembled and ready to march on EtgJiaIWkGI. But little do they know, back at school, a teacher is losing his mind over a tripod found in the hallway. What's that about? Is someone planning to film the brawl? It's not just a tripod. The school flag has been stolen from the damn teacher's office. Meanwhile, word on the street at EtgJiaIWkGI is that their guys already beat up Sunchul. Stealing the flag was a clear declaration of war. And now, that very same flag, the symbol of Yusung's pride, is being carried into enemy territory. Their mission: let's go plant our flag on EtgJiaIWkGI's soil. The hype is absolutely unreal. With a look of pure intensity, our red-haired warrior declares, they're dead meat now. Planting a flag on enemy turf? That's the ultimate power move. It's so badass, even the others are getting chills. Meanwhile, the EtgJiaIWkGI crew is waiting. I knew this would happen. Their leader smirks. They knew Yusung would take the bait. This isn't a fight, it's an ambush. The EtgJiaIWkGI army marches out, ready to crush the shitheads from Yusung. Their leader gives the order, just bring me Dojin-woo. They're targeting the head of the snake. Facing down an entire mob, Jiawu steps forward, flag in hand. Leave him to me. What a legend. He's trying to take on the boss himself. The enemy leader just laughs maniacally and gives the order, kill him. Watching from a distance, Gammon and his friend are worried sick. And for good reason. Suddenly, a knife comes flying through the air and sticks into a door. These guys are playing dirty, and the battle erupts into chaos. A massive kick connects with explosive force. Jiawu is caught in the middle of a brutal onslaught. Seeing his friends ready to jump in, Jiawu gets emotional. Why do you have a flag? Are you going to go to? He's trying to protect them, calling them losers who have no place in a fight like this. Losers? Are you kidding me? His friend are fired up. We can finally create Gammon's vision of a real school, because of guys like you who show us the way. This is so much more than a fight. That speech ignites everyone's fighting spirit. They're not losers. They're the heart and soul of Yusung High. The enemy didn't just pick a fight with a few students. They messed with the entire school's pride. Cut to the Northern Alliance headquarters. The big boss, EtgJiaIWkGI's #1, Dojin-woo, is pulling the strings from afar. He's on the phone, ordering his men to find that asshole Hakjin. He's got other plans in motion. Dojin is bored because they've only been dealing with weak little guys. We see the defeated leaders of other schools, beaten and humiliated. This is how the Northern Alliance operates. Absolute domination through fear. They don't just take over schools, they extort their own classmates. We normally don't collect money from our classmates. One victim protests right before getting his face kicked in. It's brutal. In their world, there's no normal anymore. The loser shuts up and does what the winner says. It's the law of the jungle, and they are the apex predators. Don't like it? You should have won, assholes. This is the cruel philosophy that fuels the Northern Alliance. And now, they've set their sights on Yusung High. When news of the Yusung raid arrives, the entire EtgJiaIWkGI student body gets hyped for a war. Yeah. And on the other side, our main trio from Yusung finally arrives on the scene. It's about to go down. Jiawu's fighting prowess leaves the onlookers completely stunned. Oh shit, was he always such a good fighter? Yep. You guys seriously underestimated the dragons of Yusung High. He's using the flagpole as a freaking bow staff. Whoosh. Crack. He's tearing through them with skill and precision. That's not just a flag. It's a weapon of mass destruction in his hands. Crack. Another devastating blow lands perfectly. You can practically feel that impact through the screen. Jiawu is on fire today, an unstoppable force of nature. And get this, the narration reveals his specialty is actually kicking. Knee strikes, front kicks, axe kicks. He's a master of them all. He's been dominating this whole time without even using his best weapon. It turns out EtgJiaIWkGI's strategist, EtgJiaIWkG, predicted all of this. He knew Yusung would come to rescue their friend and set up this entire test for his army. This is a battle of wits as much as it is a battle of fists. And this EtgJiaIWkGI isn't just smart. He's a monster in a fight, taking down an opponent with a knife like it's nothing. Nah, it's your ass that's gonna get beat. This guy is the real deal. EtgJiaIWkG has Jiawu completely figured out. He knows guys like him never go back on their word. So he plans to use Jiawu's self-imposed rules against him. If I use that to my advantage, I'm gonna come out on top. It's a psychological attack. And his fight IQ is off the charts. As Han Kyung and Huang Dao watch, they realize he's damn good at picking up fight patterns. Yukin isn't just reacting. He's downloading Jaiwu's entire moveset. He exploits an opening and brutally throws Jaiwu down a flight of stairs. Then he taunts him. So, you're not going to use your hands no matter what. He's testing his resolve, trying to break him mentally. Jaiwu is pushed to his limit, but he sticks to his guns, or rather his feet. He relentlessly pursues Yukin, who just keeps dodging and mocking him. You can beat me with just your feet? But while Jaiwu is focused on Yukin, another enemy ambushes him with a flying kick from above. Oh no, they're ganging up on him. He's completely cornered. And this new guy is a total pragmatist. Who cares if I win with just my feet? All that matters is that I win. He's throwing Jaiwu's honorable code right back in his face, making him tremble with rage and frustration. Just when things look hopeless, the cavalry arrives. Huangdao and Hankyong are here. The rest of the Yusung crew has finally caught up, and they are not about to let their school flag fall. We're here to defend our school pride, Huangdao declares, sending a punk flying. So we can't have our school flag lying on the ground. Damn right, that's the spirit. Wangle's raw power is just insane. Look at him, swinging two guys around like they're nothing. That's what you call absolute dominance. Airplane, he yells, calling out the boss, Dojinwu. I don't need no warm-up. Come out and fight me. The sheer audacity. That's the Yusung style right there. And right on cue, our boy Gammon and Mugiu join the fray. Seeing this all-star lineup, the Hyukchang thugs finally get it. No wonder they had the balls to send just 4 guys to our school. Gammon wastes no time, unleashing a flurry of kicks that cuts through the crowd like a hot knife through butter. This isn't just fighting, it's an art form. These 4 guys from Yusung are absolute war machines. They're outnumbered like crazy, but they're not just holding their own. They're dominating this fight, leaving a trail of bodies in their wake. Our boy Gammon is fighting smart. He knows there are too many of them to fight one by one. No matter how weak they are, I'm still bound to get tired. He needs to end this, and fast. His stamina is draining, but every move is precise, calculated. He's on the clock, racing to find the leader before he runs out of steam. Beating up a bunch of gangsters is meaningless if I don't take out their boss. With a clear goal in mind, Gammon starts weaving through the chaos, determined to find his target. His friends are barely holding the line, realizing they can't finish the job themselves. All their hopes are riding on Gammon now, trusting him to pull off a miracle. That Gammon, how the hell did he plow through the crowd? The enemies can't believe their eyes as our boy effortlessly carves a path. That's the main character privilege, baby. Gammon shows off his grappling skills, proving he's not just a striker. He grabs his opponent, effortlessly transitioning into a perfect throw. The dude is a complete fighter. Meanwhile, Mugiu is having the time of his life, pulling off a clean sweep kick while yelling, I like women. Okay dude, good for you? A little random, but the kick was definitely good looking. Every member of the Yusung crew is a certified beast in their own right. They're not just fighting, they're putting on a clinic of carnage, and the enemy is getting schooled. Look at the power behind that kick. Gammon literally shatters the pavement with the impact, the shockwave sending him sliding back. This dude is a walking weapon of mass destruction. And finally, Gammon comes face to face with one of Hyukchang's lieutenants, the muscular De Solhuan. You can tell just by looking at this guy, he's a total powerhouse. Another one of the enemy lieutenants is in disbelief. So just 2 guys caused this much damage. That's right, buddy. You're learning a valuable lesson today. Quality over quantity. Everyone hold up. Huangdao Haiyong is thinking. His crew immediately stops, showing a surprising amount of discipline. This guy clearly commands a lot of respect. We get a crucial flashback from a former enemy, who warns his friend with dead seriousness. Never, ever, get tangled up with this kid named Gammon Yun from Yusung High. I fought the 4 Eyes twice and got fucked up both times. He's the best of the best. The hype continues. It's like his abilities transcend the boundaries of ordinary men. Gammon's reputation clearly precedes him. The status of Yusung High is about to change, and he's the catalyst. Back to the fight, Gammon lands a lightning-fast punch right on the money. Crackle. The look on his opponent's face is pure shock. He never even saw it coming. Gammon is now facing off against De Sol Huang's brute strength, and it's a tough matchup. This is a classic battle of power versus technique. De Sol tries to get under Gammon's skin, mocking him and asking if he's scared. He's trying to provoke him, but our boy remains cool as a cucumber, analyzing his opponent. He keeps pushing, asking why Gammon is looking for his boss, Min Wanma. He's digging for information, trying to find a weakness. But Gammon's face remains an unreadable mask. In a moment of bizarre calm before the storm, Gammon genuinely expresses concern for his opponent's yellowish skin, suggesting he see a doctor. The guy's explanation? He ate too many tangerines. You can't make this stuff up. The The friendly banter is over. Now don't go whining about being sick or anything after I beat your ass, Desul warns. And come at me. The real fight begins now. As soon as Gammon makes his move, Desul recognizes the style. That stance, it's the same as Sunchul Kim's, a martial art from Chinatown. The plot thickens. These guys have a shared history. That's right. Gammon confirms it with his fists. That's kung fu. He lands a powerful blow, showcasing the art form in all its glory. Desul is completely overwhelmed by Gammon's relentless assault. The confidence on his face quickly turns to desperation as he's pushed back again and again. But he's not going down without a fight. He finds an opening and counters with a fierce kick of his own. This is a high-level exchange, with both fighters giving it their all. Desul goes on the offensive, screaming insults about Gammon's master. What the fuck you gonna do? He's trying to get a reaction, to break Gammon's concentration with personal attacks. He continues his trash talk, claiming Gammon's master was just some lucky punk who shot a guy with a real gun once. He's trying to tear down the legend, piece by piece. Gammon manages to land a clean hit, but the verbal assault is clearly taking a toll. Hakjin, watching from the sidelines, smirks. He knows Desul's psychological warfare is working. Desul goes for the jugular, calling Gammon Min Wan Ma's biggest fan in Chinatown and mocking his braid. He brings up the poor bastard Min Wan shot and killed, twisting the knife with a sadistic cackle. And then he crosses the line, bragging about how he fucked the sister of the guy their master killed. The disrespect is staggering. He's just a genuinely horrible person. He couldn't even finish his sentence before Gammon's fist connects. You can feel the rage behind that punch. No more techniques, no more strategy, just pure, unadulterated anger. Gammon absolutely snaps. He takes Desul to the ground and just starts hammering him with punch after punch. Slam. BLAM. This is a beatdown fueled by righteous fury. Desul is completely broken, forced to retreat. But Gammon is relentless, chasing him down like a predator hunting its prey. There's nowhere to run. Meanwhile, the other fight is still raging. Huangdao is facing Heejin, who is quick but lacks punching power. Heejin's goal isn't to win, it's to stall for time. Heejin's strategy pays off. He dodges an attack and finds an opening, landing a clean hit that sends blood flying. Even a powerhouse like Huangdao can be taken down with the right technique. Heejin expertly counters Wang Dul's brute force, using his opponent's momentum against him to lock in a submission. Crack! Huangdao is slammed to the ground, his glasses sent flying. A brilliant display of skill over power. And now we learn the truth about Hakjin, Hyukchang's number 3. He's a true sadist who takes joy in watching people suffer, both physically and psychologically, because he literally cannot empathize with pain. That's why he's so damn tough to beat. No matter how many times I knock him down, he just doesn't stay down. He's like a cockroach that just keeps coming back, because pain means nothing to him. The tide of battle has turned. The Yusung crew is in deep trouble, facing opponents who are not just strong, but psychologically twisted. They've been caught completely off guard. Look at the faces of our boys. Pain, desperation, and fear. This battle to protect their dream has quickly turned into a desperate struggle for survival.